Okay, I deleted my earlier Dow of the day because it was shit. To be quite honest, I was distracted. I got a text in the middle of it. It was just a little distracting, so I wasn't able to get back into it. Nobody came up anyway. I talked about number three, which I'm going to go ahead and revisit today. I am sipping a lime and coconut kombucha that I made. Oh, look, somebody is just already jumping on. Marcy, oh my God, it's been so long. So great to have a guest.
Hey, good
Marcy,
morning.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm doing well. Life is treating me well, and I am feeling good this morning.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I wanted to come up and say good morning, and I think I just need some words of wisdom today, so I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be some heaviness in your voice today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Will you pick one for me?
Yeah, I'll pick one for you.
Thank you.
63 is coming to mind, and I don't know
Okay.
why, but we're going to go ahead and look at 63. Act without doing and work without effort. Think of the small as the large and the few as the many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish a great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great, thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort, thus problems are no problem for her.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed to hear today.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you're hearing in this?
Um, just put it frankly, not to allow things to get to me the way that I have this morning.
Yeah.
Nothing is that serious, and I know that.
Yeah, it's good to remember that, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this is probably not going to matter literally in 2 hours.
No, it probably won't.
Yeah. This one starts act without doing,
Mm-hmm.
work without effort.
Yep.
That's so hard for us in this world. In this, I mean, you're in New York, and like I'm outside of Chicago, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's so much effort being put into being here. Sometimes it's just like everything requires effort, and then but even when you don't have effort, like if you're sick with COVID or whatever, like things continue to go on without you. It's just, but it's not without you. It's bringing you along with it.
Right. Right.
You know. But with it's without your effort, and that's what it's without. Like act without doing, and I love it when I can do something without having thought about it or without having, oh, is this right or is this wrong, and you don't have anything attached to it. You can give that gift. Like you can give to a homeless person when it's not an effort, but when it's an effort, sometimes you get insulted by the offering.
Mm-hmm.
But like when it comes from your heart, when it's there, and that doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It just means it's aligned or it's misaligned. Act without doing. That's a great way of starting a verse.
It's a great way to start the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, yeah, have today without doing. That doesn't mean be still. It just means don't 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 have a set plan. Just act right now. What is this moment presenting you? Imagine if everything that you remember in your life was just planted there, and this moment was the only one that mattered, and all of those memories were there just to confuse this moment. But if you can get rid of all of those and say, what is now for me?
Living in the moment.
Yeah.
Living in the
Without
moment.
Without,
Yeah.
I woke up this morning and I was thinking about, like, what if everything that came before didn't actually happen? And all it was today, and what am I going to do now? What do I have? No contracts. I have no, like, what, and as I wake up to the contracts that I have at this moment, right? Like my mother or my family or Andy or Dow of the day or whatever. If I have no contracts, what do I want to do at this moment? You know, and then do that. Think of the small as the large and the few as the many.
Thing of the small is the large. You know what? This was perfect for me, Martin John. I'm always telling people it's little things that mean so much to me.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the little tiny acts of anything that someone does for me that means so much more than something grandiose. I don't need a party, I don't need flowers, just little things. Keep your word, that's a little thing to me. It's a big little thing.
Yeah. It's the littlest things that make the biggest difference.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
always is. It's always that little tiny thing that makes the big difference. It's like, and it makes the biggest difference over time. When you try and do something big, that big thing just ends up being like some albatross on the, on the horizon of just like, oh, here's this thing you gotta land. But it's like,
God.
no, like it's when you do this tiny thing, that makes the biggest difference. Just just remembering and just I remember walking down the street with somebody and they were from New York and I was from Chicago, and we were walking down the street and we uh we passed a homeless man that didn't have legs, and I looked at him, and this was in Chicago, and I was just like, good luck, love you, brother, right? Like, just I looked him in the eye,
Mm-hmm.
and they turned away from that, and they just recognized this, like, wow, like there's a big difference here on how we can be in this moment. And I talked about that as like harm reduction. It's the smallest thing. Like, all you have to do is treat somebody with dignity, and that can go so far. That could do so much good. Just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Mm. Confront the difficult while it is still easy.
That one is not as, that one's still more challenging. It's like you
Yeah.
try, you work on it, you go to someone and you say, hey, I want to talk because of this, and they don't want to talk. And it could
Hmm.
be such a simple conversation and you can move
Yeah.
past it. And when they don't want to, it makes it so
It
heavy,
grows, right?
and convoluted, and yeah.
Yeah. It can get, and that's the thing. Like, if you put it off, it gets increasingly difficult. It's hard now, but it's just going to get worse as it goes on. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. Once again, going to the small. And it's interesting how they phrase this. Like this one, I always look at the great task. It's not capitalized or anything, but it is the great task. Whatever great task it is, but maybe that great task is your life.
Hmm.
Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. And, the first word of this section of this and the last word of this section of this 63 is act. Act without doing. Work without effort. Accomplish a great task by a series of small acts. Acts in which you don't do. In our world, we get ideas of who we are, identity, desires for what we want. And all of those are coming from our mind, and we're acting. We're acting, but we're doing those things. We're contributing to our own identity. We're contributing to moving ourselves in a direction of our desires. But when we can
Yeah.
get rid of those things, we can actually act without doing. We can just be here and act and do or perform or whatever without having thought about it, without having to put in any effort. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts in which you do not do.
That's again it's important. It's the little things, they add up.
Hmm. They add up to your life.
Yeah.
I recently put out a little ebook of quotes of mine, and there was one in there about like not doing, not getting caught up in like the big picture of your life, but one of just like, where are you now? Like, we don't have to look at the big picture all the time. A lot of people want to get us afraid of the idea that we're going to miss out on our life if we don't have a 10-year plan. But really, where we are right now is where we're going to be forever, wherever we are right now. And so, can we
Mm-hmm.
do this moment right now? The master never reaches for the great, thus, she achieves greatness. In that moment, when you're reaching for the great, you're reaching for something that you don't feel like you have.
I don't do that. I
Good.
can't. I just want to be Marcella. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Marcy, like you call me. That's it. It's
Yeah.
that to me is being great.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. When she runs into difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. Like, okay, this is difficult. Let's investigate that. Let's be
Acknowledge
here
it.
with it. Yeah, acknowledge it.
Validate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give yourself to it. Like, okay, here we go. Far out.
That's it.
And she doesn't cling to her own comfort. And and it's not that you try and make other people comfortable. You don't cling to your own comfort, meaning that your comfort isn't the only thing that's important to you.
Oh no.
And
No.
because of that, problems are no problem for her.
Yeah. I like being uncomfortable, Martin John.
Me too. Discomfort is a great place to be.
Yeah.
Like, the more comfortable, like, it's nice to be comfortable every now and again. Nice to take a warm bath. But um but I was, like, once again, in that ebook that I put out recently, it talks about this idea of like, even if you've been even lying in bed can be painful after too long.
Yeah, being idle.
Yep.
Um,
Being idle is uncomfortable after too long. So no matter how much comfort you think you want, there is a limit.
yes. Yeah. I don't like routine.
Yeah.
I can't. It's just it's not a me thing. I've got
Right.
to I needed this so much. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. And I just wanna let you know how grateful I am for letting you allow me to pick a number, and I'm glad that it lined up. I mean, it could not, but I'm glad that it
63.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, 63.
6 and 3 is 9. It's completion. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Love you.
Love you too. See you later.
Yep. Bye-bye. Oh, my buddy Kelly. Kelly's got a new picture up. Look at that. Look at you, smiley,
Hey,
smiley.
Garcia.
How's it going? I'm
It's
doing a
a
second out. I saw you peeked into my room earlier. But yeah, I was very distracted earlier.
yeah. I was leaving to pick it a second. Hi. Okay, thank you. I was leaving to take my friend's been staying with me, and she is got a lot of cancer in her body right now, and we grew up together. And so I think I told you about it the other day, but so she's been sleeping in my house the last couple of days. She has a bunch of kids, but she doesn't have home, and so they are somewhere else. And I was getting up to bring her to the methadone clinic, which
Wow.
is a repeating story from my childhood. And so it's like I was like awake, but not awake yet, like just getting up. So she's in there right now, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh look,
before you get that methadone, it's a tough day.
yes, she's she's on day 3 and she's doing well,
Oh, good. I'm really glad.
eating and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, introduce her to some of the resources that we have available for recovering yourself, because that's
Yes, there's all where I grew up on the outskirts of Phoenix. Pretty much everyone in that town could really benefit from that.
yeah,
So
it's a hella journey, man. Although I never had dates at a methadone clinic myself, I definitely know lots of people who I've taken to the clinic. So
hmm
I
routine.
know the juice run, right? Like, and
Yeah,
it's a
yes.
Friday, so you're bringing back some gear. Got stuff in your fridge, do you?
Quite interesting. It's quite interesting because if you've never experienced this, you're like, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's so great to have you on, and this is a
Thank you.
Friday, so let's see if we can pick a number for your weekend.
Let's do 31. Thank you. No, that's okay. Thanks, you too. 31.
Was that drive-through methadone?
No, that was that's not a thing yet. No, that's my coffee.
Yes,
She's in there
drive-through
and I'm
methadone.
waiting. Oh, well, okay, yes. It's true. I haven't slept well for a few days, okay? That's
Okay.
that's funny.
All right, 31. 30
Yeah.
I really like 31. And we're gonna talk about 31. Let me see. I wonder if, like, cuz this is one that I've read a lot, not that I've read it with
Hmm.
you, but I want to see if I could have it in a different
Elizabeth's Years is always
translation.
my
Yeah,
favorite because she's so poetic.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
going to. Okay, so we are going to look at mirrors. Now this is going to be a tough read, but you're going to stick
Ooh,
with me, right?
I am. I'm excited for tough reads.
Okay, so the master who is captain of soldiers does not give blessings with his weapons. Soldiers' weapons are hated by most men, therefore he who has Tao gives them no place. In the dwelling of the man of peace, the left side is the place of honor. In the soldier's usage, in soldier's usage, the right side is the place of honor. A soldier does not give blessings with his weapons. They are not the instruments of a man of peace. A man of peace will not possess them, nor use them. He gives the first place to calmness and repose. If he conquers, he does not rejoice. Without joy is he who wounds and kills men. The master who wounds and kills men cannot succeed in ruling his kingdom. In time of joy, the left hand is preferred. In time of mourning, the right hand is preferred. In war, the second in command is placed on the left, the first in command is placed on the right. That is, he stands in the place of mourning. He who is killed by many men should weep. He who has killed many men shall weep with many tears. He who has conquered in battle should stand in the place of mourning. Whoa, that's a lot.
Dang, she just takes it to town.
So, what are you hearing here?
There's something in the middle that I heard, but it went away a little bit fast because there's so much to take in.
Okay.
I think what stands out to me is just nope, it's not there. We're gonna have to go over it. Yeah.
We are going to have to go over it because this one's tough. But I want to start by referencing left and right.
That stuck out to me. Yeah.
Okay, so left and right. Left is the feminine, right is the masculine. This is a tradition that goes back as far as anybody knows, and so we have to look at the difference between the Tao and like Christianity, right? So the feminine yielding and the masculine demanding, right? And so what we're talking about here is weapons, and in Stephen Mitchell's version. It's a little easier to understand because he is just more more modern and it makes more sense. But let's just stay here and see what we're working with. The master who is captain of soldiers does not give blessings with his weapons. What does that mean to you? How does that read?
Well, all of the weapon and left and right on the surface at least represents to me, you know, like the right side, like people sitting at a table or whatever, like you're at the right hand of God. You're like the weapon of God is like, things like that, like in, round table sort of conversations. And
Right. Like that is
and
on the like
yeah,
that's what like the Salvation Army is all about, right? It is like you are the army of God. Yeah, it's the weapon.
and but weapon also represents more of like a force and not um you know it's a thing out of fear is what I get. Like, so fear is a word that's come up this week a lot with several other things, but
Hmm.
so acting out of fear instead of taking that pause between
Right.
things.
And so here we say does not give blessings with his weapons. That means weapons are not things of blessings. That's kind of how I'm seeing this. Where it's like, like, because we see this again later where the soldier doesn't give blessings with weapons. And I'm thinking that weapons are not the tools of blessings.
If you give a baby is born and you give a baby a sword, like birth, like, okay, like, here I'm bestowing upon you this sword, you're almost saying like I'm bestowing upon you a need for a sword. Or
Yes.
you
Yeah.
don't give a kiss. You can kiss somebody on the forehead and be like, I love you. Or you can be like, here, I love you, and here's a
I'm going to
sword.
give you a Glock, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It,
So,
and
so, so,
which is the blessing.
so here's the next line. Soldiers' weapons are hated by most men. Therefore, he who has Tao gives them no place. Soldiers' weapons, like these are the weapons of violence. Right? Any weapons of violence are hated by
Mm.
most men. And so now we're defining what a weapon is, right? The master who is captain of soldiers. Now, this is the master. And you can be a captain of soldiers and be a master as referred to by the Tao. So the master who's captain of soldier does not give blessings with his weapons. He gives blessings in another way. Soldiers' weapons are hated by most men. Therefore, he who has the Tao gives them no place. And he who has the Tao is the master. So the master who is the captain of soldier gives weapons no place. That's what we have so far. In the dwelling of the man of peace, the left side is the place of honor. The left side is the feminine. The soldier's usage In soldiers' usage, the right side is the place of honor. See, a soldier is someone who does violence and who has weapons, and those have no place to the man of the Tao. He honors the right side. He honors the masculine. He honors the powerful, the violent. But in the dwelling of the man of peace, the left side is the place of honor, the feminine, the yielding. Does that track?
Bringing the masculine and feminine in. I was talking to my friend while I was bringing her here right now. So she's still in there, but like, Um, but like there's so much to this. Like there's a feminine wound, but there's a masculine wound all around us, right? And like the need to, it's just so out of balance. It's hard to make my words right now.
That's what we're talking. We're saying like there
Mhm.
needs to be balance here, right?
Mhm.
We do have soldiers. There is a master, and he can be captain of soldiers, but weapons are not the instrument of the man of peace. A man of peace will not possess them or use them. He gives them, he gives the first place to calmness and repose. The first response to anything is calmness and repose.
It's like what comes up is like that sorry, 1 second. Um
Where you at, Kelly?
okay, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, okay. I thought it muted itself. Um what comes up is like, so we were talking about like how men, like women we do want to feel and
And
be
we're not talking
feminine
about
and
men and women. We're talking about masculine and feminine. I want to keep
mhm.
those things different. Does that make sense? You're muted now.
It's not my it just
It's not you.
no, I keep getting a phone call.
Oh, okay. So I wanna make sure that, because so many people want to kind of turn masculine and feminine into man and woman or men and women. We want to just keep it masculine and feminine.
Yes. I
Yeah.
I I am, but the conversation was about like feeling safe and contained and like how like
Mm,
we go out, like we're not seeking as a female like have somebody go and like be harsh, and because that creates more harsh, like, so
right.
the sword, like it's really about like feeling like connected and together, and like you know creating that like I can nurture and you can protect sort of feeling that like the harmony of not going out and like just bashing things. That's not what like people seek,
Right.
like the feminine, the women, because we're talking about relationships, but I think it relates in the same way, right? Like it's like if we get caught up in thinking we have to go smash through things, but really like that's not what like safety or containment or like like coming together, that that
Right.
that takes
So
it away from that.
so in this it says, the soldier is the one that wants to smash things. Let's in using your phrase. And uh but in wanting to smash things, he's not blessing things with his weapons. He's smashing them with his weapons. And weapons are not the instrument of the man of peace. The man of peace will not possess them, nor will he use them, because they are not instruments of blessings. He gives the first place to calmness and repose. Those things are the things of the feminine. If he conquers, if the man of peace conquers with the weapons, or if the soldier, because within each of us is a man of peace and a soldier,
Hmm.
if we conquer, we do not rejoice. Without joy is he who wounds and kills men. If we wounded and killed people, we would not be with joy. And we see that with people with PTSD. We see that with people who have been through, you know,
So it felt like they were
wartime.
forced to do something,
Yeah,
who felt like they were forced to, like, not just like an act of protection of a bear or
right.
something else, but actually like nobody actually nobody's born wanting to cause harm, you know I don't think so.
I mean,
I know.
I tend to agree, but I could not stand behind a statement like that, only because
We have these life things.
yes, yes. Come on back up. I do have a couple people in line, but I do want to finish this off. Energy Lady, you're next, and then Dr. Rao. Dr. Rao, I love bringing you on because I know when you come on, you usually have something to say. But Energy Lady has been in line, so I'm going to have her wait. If you can wait, great. I would love to hear what you have to say. Kelly, we're back.
So
So,
I
Go on.
try to make it like, what is this saying about me? Like, I know we're like only halfway through, but like, and I think it's where am I missing the places I can create harmony within? Like, what am I trying to force, or what am I not hearing about? Um, the disharmony. Like, where am I trying to make something be something when it's not, or vice versa? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is like here we are talking about balance. We're talking about and being forced to and what it means like if you are forced to use a weapon or to weaponize something, if you find yourself in a space where it's like in order to protect yourself, you are put in a space to use a weapon of any kind. And words are weapons. Weapons can be all sorts of things. Um, if you're put into that place that you use them with restraint and understand that what does it say here? He who has killed many men should weep with many tears. He who is conquered in battle should stand in the place of mourning. And what it says is like if you even have to use your words, if you are pushed to the point of having to use your words as weapons, upon completion of that act, which is okay, you stand back and you recognize that
don't
although
dehumanize the
that was
person across from you. Yeah,
right,
like,
like just because you had to do that, you do not celebrate your win.
and you
That
don't
is
you don't
not what
say
you do.
like, oh well, like they were asking for it, or oh well,
Mm-hmm.
like you still friggin' have empathy even if you're the one who causes the pain. Like,
That's right.
don't desensitize. Don't allow yourself desensitization. That makes me almost want to throw up actually. 'Cause, like, I've seen that a lot in weird places
Right.
in the last couple
You
months.
you
People just
recognize that
mhm,
they like you were put into a position to do something that you did not want to do. And in doing that, you had to conquer somebody or you had to overcome something. And that overcoming is all fine and good, but that is not, like it is you have to be humble in the fact that came about. And you are almost like it's fine if you are put to the point where you're pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed until you can't do anything but weaponize a word or use a weapon. But
even
when that
knowledge.
gets done, yes, that is,
Mm.
he stands in the place of mourning. In the first, like it's a tough thing,
If
to balance that out because like oftentimes police will have this response of like, well, if they didn't speed off, then I wouldn't have had my blood pumping, and if my blood wasn't pumping, I wouldn't have shot them. And although that makes logical sense, you still shot somebody.
I even feel I don't care that this might sound silly to some. I guess I care because I said that, but I feel remorse when I squish a spider. Like, I literally, if it's in my house and I feel like I can't get it out,
Hmm.
apologize. I
Yeah,
I aim like sorry for what this is, like this action. Like, I hope it doesn't, like
absolutely.
I never and when I don't feel that way, it feels worse for me than just like taking a moment to grieve that the change of energy that I created just because, like everything has a little consciousness. And so
Everything is part of us, and so like
mhm.
I find myself bringing spiders and things outside without effort, like without I don't think about it. I just do that. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, this can be saved. Of course I'm going to save it. Like it's not, and then even if somebody else is just like, oh, what do you do? You're going to save the spiders? I'm just like, well, what are you going to do? Just mindlessly kill it?
Yeah, there's no use in taking the energy from that force. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I'm not
Like there's
benefiting.
no
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there are
when I could
times
not.
where, okay, like
Mhm.
you'll kill things in your house or whatever, but then there are times where it'll just be like, and it'll come from you. It won't be an act of doing. It'll be an act that springs forth from you,
Mhm.
you know? And
It's
that's a
losing your
beautiful thing.
humanity, yeah, when you don't
When you
experience
can't
that.
recognize, when you can't
Mhm.
recognize life and all of the things.
Because, it's feeling like, so in fear, and love, like, I can love so big, and I recognize this because I feel so much weight. And I don't even want to not feel the weight. I just want to ensure that I always feel the love too. Like, that keeps me buoyed to the surface and anchored to this seafloor. Like,
Yeah.
that's the balance, is like not being afraid to feel. Like, my daughter last night is crying like for like all the summer because our dog, I had to give it away with the circumstances that we were,
Mm.
changing in a home and stuff. And she's still freaking crying, and I wanna just be like, "He's happy where he's at, we can go see him soon," and, all the things that I do also say, like but really I'm just like, "Baby, just cry. Just keep
Yeah.
crying. Look at
Keep
it,
crying.
if it hurts, like, we'll just cry every day until you're done," and, like, because if
Yeah. It's
she's
not
not
going to
feeling
change
that
anything.
pain.
Like,
Yeah,
it's okay. Like, yeah, it's like I said, you're fine. You can keep crying. Like,
I'd
like,
rather.
and
Yeah.
I'm not going to, like when I was a kid, like everyone was just like, it's not gonna, it's like when I was caught crying for my grandmother, and my mom was like, that's my mom, and I was like,
Mm.
oh, and that really for over a decade made me feel like, well, what right do I have to be sad,
Mm.
you know? And that really kind of locked up a lot of my emotions and stuff for a long time. What right do you have if it affected me more? And it's just like, wait a minute, just because, like your daughter can cry and we don't have to
Yeah.
dismiss it. We can allow it, and we don't have to look at it like, well, it's not going to do any good, so stop. And it's like,
Mhm.
no, you keep crying. No, it's not going to do any good, but it might help you, and that's fine.
The
You go ahead and cry.
There are definitely chemical imbalances probably that people experience, but it's like,
Yeah.
also feeling those feelings and having somebody there to support you really does not, that helps you to not get stuck in them. But if you don't feel them, if you shut it down, then where's the love going to come in? Because now you're just
That,
holding it all in, and you're just filling up all your space with holding all that stuff in. So there's no place for the love to come in, like,
yeah.
in order to really just be able to walk outside in any setting and find the beauty, you also have to feel the harm, the hurt, the pain, the sorrow, like, that's the
Well,
balance,
that's the
and
thing.
that's the thing.
All of those things are preconceived ideas, right? Like the hurt.
Mhm.
Well, maybe it's not hurt. Maybe it's just another, like, I know that love can feel really intense, just like hurt. So, like, I remember one time I had a pain in my leg, and someone said, sometimes when you're tickled so much it hurts, but you're laughing and laughing and laughing,
Mm.
and it's like sometimes you just have to look at your pain and then redefine it. Like, re-experience that pain as something that's just intensely good.
And then
And
run a
like
marathon on it.
well, that's the like and that's what was then, like, that's how one changes the chemistry, in like by actually processing it differently.
Yeah.
It's not like it, I mean, okay, if it's broken, it's broken. That's one thing. That's blunt trauma, right? But when there's just like pain somewhere, it's just, and it's like, and sometimes it could be, I forget even what it was, but it wasn't unbearable, I suspect, but I was just like, no, there's pain. And it's just like, huh, well, can you think about it in a sense that it's just intensely pleasurable? And it was a really interesting thing. I was able to do that here and there, not
Mhm.
for long stretches, but that's an interesting thing of just like, can you can you be in that space?
Well, but you're thinking about it, it gives it the space, like, you're still looking at it, you're still grieving the person that
Yeah,
you just killed as a soldier in the Tao,
right.
like,
Yeah,
and acknowledging it, like, so that when it's done, it can move on.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly, we really covered this one. That Isabel, she speaks
She's my
volumes.
lady. I've been
Yeah.
looking for what, like, I want it in book form, and I looked on Amazon, and I probably don't spell her name right, but yeah, I like it.
MEARS.
MEARS.
Um,
As I said.
S. Yeah.
All right,
And
texting
and
myself.
I do you did I can send you the link if you do you have that? Did I have I sent you
No,
the links
I
to
mean
these?
maybe,
All
but
right,
no.
I will send you the link via Instagram shortly.
Okay. Well,
All
thank
right,
you.
absolutely.
Yes.
That way you'll have it, um, and then you can read some of her stuff because if you can make out some of these things that she's written, it might be helpful.
I like it. This
I can
is nice. Yeah.
I can always use a little help. So,
Thank you
all
for
right.
the
Well, you have a
conversation.
wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.
I hope so. I like talking with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful
All right.
day in your day. Bye.
Yeah. Will. Bye bye. Oh, Dr. Rao's coming up to say hello, and Kelly, I already sent you that link. I think it's going to go to a specific chapter, but check it out. Dr. Rao, how are you?
Hi, Martin. How are you?
I am blissful, blissful. Look at that. Look at me. I'm blissful.
That's
That's
good.
uh, no, I'm doing really great. I did a Dow earlier, had to stop it, and I was like, you know what? I feel like doing it again. So
Hmm.
so here I am trying to just like sort through things. I'm sure you heard something that you'd like to comment on, so I'd love to give you the floor and see what you have to say.
Yeah, about this feminine, masculine energy that you were talking about,
Ah,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
So I thought I'll tell you about my experience with it. Um, it was that Chinese symbol, yin and yang
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
You know, I used to use that. Because at that time it was really like a domination of masculine energy versus tapping on the feminine energy, that kind of thing, right?
Yep.
And then as I began to see the real picture, then some things from Tantra, the yoga of Tantra,
Yeah.
that have come into place, and also it has got to do with energy as a whole. But then the Sankhya philosophy has this Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is the consciousness, and Prakriti is the world and all the things that come out, right? The Purusha is that masculine energy, and then whereas the Prakriti is the feminine energy, right? And
Hmm.
there's so many goddesses, so many manifestations of all of that. But that feminine energies can be very powerful or can be very receptive, submissive, and occupies by receiving. By taking in, they occupy, right? That
Okay.
kind of. And then there is a harmonization of these energies in all of us. Maybe we need a dominant masculine for a while, and then we kind of adopt this. But the thing is, even in the marriage, even in the union of a man and woman, that is implicit. The man could be dominant in masculine, and that is nullified by the feminine energy. Whereas the feminine energy is too submissive and not able to sustain itself, then the masculine energy protects it. You
Yeah.
know, that kind of. But then, how do one person, even if you are married after a while, grow up to be harmonizing both energies within himself or within herself?
Yeah.
Or they both kind of so much of unionized within energies, they kind of absorb each other's energy and then harmonize that way. See,
Beautiful. Yeah.
that is tantra.
See, that's how I see relationships because
Yeah,
I feel, in
mm,
terms of like, as I understand it,
yeah,
like I always feel like I have a very strong feminine sort of energy. And I'm able to tap into my masculine. And,
yeah,
I feel like I've lived many lives as a woman. and I feel like I am, whether or not, I mean, I don't care if that's true or not, but it's just like, I feel very attached to the yielding, and that's why I'm so drawn to so much of the Eastern cultures that really revere that feminine yielding.
Yeah, yeah, but this tantra is a big branch of yoga, misunderstood because they kind of uh, uh, relegate to the sensual pleasure
Yes,
rather than much deeper union. You know,
yes, yes.
of course, sex has a part in it, but not everything. You know.
Right. Yeah. And when I look at tantra, I always look at like as an energetic experience
Yeah,
of 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 combining, and really doesn't have, like, you can do that with gazing. You can just look
yes,
into someone's eyes and then be able to experience the feminine and the masculine and the energy and the feelings
yeah.
that are coming up when the two energies are combining.
And now the question is, once we understood that, where are we? Are we dominant masculine and then feeling the feminine? Or are we dominant feminine feeling the masculine? Or there is no identification, only energy.
Yes, and that's kind of, I like the no identification.
Uh, Yes,
I
that is where everything really manifests, and you can have this masculine energy. You know what Krishnamurti calls this? Identify where you are and drop the identification, and then as the situation presents, intelligence will tell you which way to go,
Yes. and
not
and
your.
and not and not educated intelligence. There
Yeah,
won't be, like, this moment requires something
yeah,
that consciousness requires you to pull forth. Now,
yeah,
if you override that with your mind
yeah,
and say the right answer in this
yeah.
moment is, then you are wrong.
No,
Even if
that,
you're right, you're wrong.
that's it. That intelligence is far apart from your conditioning.
Yes,
I wouldn't call it educated because I don't consider modern education is doing the job that we want. You know, it
correct.
can make more machines rather than really intelligent people. You know, that's why facing situations with intelligence, applying the energy that is unitary, but then the more you are not identified with one particular energy, then the more unified you are, harmonious.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to tell you. That's why I came up.
Oh, that's beautiful. I really appreciate that. And if Marcy's still listening, I think that was the one I was talking about with Marcy,
Mm,
definitely, like, not identifying
yes,
is such a strong place to be.
yes, yes,
Yeah, and that opens you up to all that you are, because you are not identified. Like, here in
yes,
the world, we like to identify you as masculine or feminine or male or female, but,
yeah.
like, that doesn't have anything to do with the grandness of the non-specific, non-particular you, which is connected to all things.
You know, there is a martial arts in Kerala. There's a southernmost part of India that's called Kalari. You know
How do you
what they do?
spell that?
Kalari, Kalari, right? This is a beautiful form of martial arts. They will be training with swords and all sorts of weapons, like, right. But then the philosophy is, what they say is, we make them so good at violence so they don't have to use violence.
Yes.
So they're so strong they are not afraid of somebody and go attack them, or attack the smaller one because that is kind of pretending to be attacking you. So he's
Hmm.
so even the yogic technique there is what they assume the posture that gives a message to the other person, the strength and vitality of the person. So somebody wants to rob you, the moment you take this posture, then immediately they know that you are quite agile, quite powerful, and if you attack them, they will, be punished, right?
Yeah.
So without attacking, these people convey that strength because they have built up the strength, but at the same time, that masculine energy will not come out aggression because this feminine energy kind of holds it back.
Mm.
That's why you can have if you look at their uh, training, they fight with the real swords,
Yeah.
real weapons. They are very sharp and all that, but they only train so that they'll become so strong that they don't have to use the violence.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a kind of fits in with that peaceful theory and all of that. And if they should really encounter somebody that they are going to be attacked, then they just by displaying their strength, they ward the people off because that will convey to them, oh, this is not somebody normal that could attack. And so, without you doing any violent act, you can fend them off.
Yeah, I I look at that so much as like just energetic. Like
Mm.
when you are you don't have to posture. You don't have to, like, when you are strong within yourself,
Yeah,
like that creates a posture externally that people can read.
and that's what I'm saying. They become
Yeah.
so, and they assume the posture itself. In yoga
Yeah.
also, Kalari more so because they are so fantastic warriors. But
Yeah.
then philosophy is this. See, that is very strange. If you look at any country, we're building the army so that we can attack somebody, or we can defend somebody, or we can project like we have all this weapons. What is happening with North Korea, China? They are displaying all these destructive arms and intimidating other people, but they say we are trying to project our strength so that we won't be attacked.
Right.
So, but then look at that Ukraine, what the persons did. So, I mean, they say these things, but they don't follow them. Whereas these ancient arts had that essential philosophy. So, like for example, Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee,
Yep.
and he goes to the graves of his mother, a father or sister, I think, and he tells them, "I know you won't approve what I'm going to. I am going to go and do it because he intended to kill that guy, right? Who
Mm-hmm.
done all the wrong to his sister and all that." And they said, "I hope you will forgive me." So he knows that aggression he's going to do is not going to be approved by the peaceful family. Even
Yes.
they were hurt. But then, because he could not contain that masculine energy, she shows in that room also. He was training in the morning, and suddenly this guy with a scar comes and says, "So you have to be coming out for the practice or something." And then he shows the aggression out of him coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those things. Yeah,
That's, yeah, and it's referenced in so many places, and just
yeah.
like, but it's always referenced by those who, once again, have that posture.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, more than this, what kind of identification attitude you have inside about the whole thing.
Yes.
Even if, for example, somebody yesterday was talking about atheism, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
a, so he was kind of braiding all the people who believe in God. There are a lot of people who talk about God on this wisdom app, right? So he was kind of conveying his violence of opinion on other
Mm-hmm.
people. You see,
Yeah. And
he doesn't even realize that he's suffering from that violence and that kind of thing. What it happens is it burns out afterward.
yes.
So then, where is he? He will feel miserable.
Yeah. That, I talk to a friend of mine, Alan, a lot, and he's very spiritual in different ways, and he talks about, well, there's a couple ways you can gain energy. You can gain energy through your source of connection to all things, or you can get it from others. You can go to, like, and he wasn't prepared to say Donald Trump is one of these people, but he said, he could gain a lot of energy from his rallies, but then go home and feel empty.
Oh yeah, Yeah.
And that's how, and I do feel how atheists can be like, engage so that you can take energy from a space of not believing. Not believing in something takes so much more energy than believing in something just allows you to yield to other things as well. But the minute you start to not believe in something, it
Yeah.
starts to take energy.
No, the question here is, why can't you keep the thoughts yourself? Why do you have to set out to change somebody else?
That's right. That's right.
See, if you believe or not believe, it's not your business, it's their business, right?
That's right. Everybody who doesn't believe is
Yeah.
always out to get people to not believe.
Yeah, other thing is, why do you want to waste your energy like that?
That's
Um,
right.
oh, these people are like this. And then, what happened? Suddenly they slipped into this profanity about
Yes.
some obese guy and all that. Then I kind of was put off by that. I said, okay, I don't have to be here. And I walked
That's
away.
right. That's right.
Uh, but otherwise, I would have gone there and told him about what is the status when you say somebody has to be like this.
Mm,
It's their journey. Leave them alone.
that's right.
And then why do you have to waste your energy so much? So
Yeah.
even the public.
Oh, Dr. Rao, you dropped off. If you want to come back up, that'd be great. I do have Lois in line, and we'll move on to her if Dr. Rao doesn't come back. There we are. Okay. Lois will be with you in just a moment. I definitely want to talk with you about your weekend, Dow. Doctor.
The other factor is, if somebody is believing God out there, that may be true for them, but it may not be true for us.
Right.
Oh, God is within, then how can you show God and all that? The life force I call the God, and that is within all of us. The spider that you are talking about, or the big elephant, or anybody has the same life force.
That's
Like,
right.
so, I mean, we consider that life force, that awareness is as a God. So main point is here. This is a very simple thing. Women kind of waste their energy saying this masculine energy projecting and thrusting and doing harm to us, right? And they want to say that we want to fight for equality and all that, right? Equality and all that. Whereas men would say, oh, women can be like this, they have to be submissive and all that's such a waste of energy.
Yes.
If only we come harmonious and we could say we need both of us to nourish each other, how wonderful it would be.
I know. Oh, we'll
And
get
then
there. Little by
later on,
little. Little by little.
later on in life, Martin, we will be at a place where we have to face those both energies within ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
And then that is where the spiritual quest really begins. And then you don't need anybody to go to the extra step where you are established in that unified energy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Anyway, nice
Thank you
talking to
so much. It was
you. Yeah,
always such a treat to have you on. Thank you so much, and we will have a wonderful weekend. And at some point, I know you're close to Chicago, so at some point, I'd love to sit down for a meal with you.
yeah. I will let you know when I visit Chicago because it happens quite often.
Good.
Then we'll arrange and we'll meet. I will
That would
treat
be
you for a,
wonderful.
I will treat you for a good Indian. That will.
Oh, bring me up to Devon and let's have a divine time.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All
Bye
right, my friend.
bye.
All right, we're bringing Lois and Christine. If you can stick around, that'd be wonderful. Lois,
Hey,
we're
John, how
coming
you
into a
doing?
weekend, girl. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good. It's going good. I'm
Good.
well rested and ready for my activities for today.
Are you
And
gonna
then,
are you gonna take the bike out?
yeah, we're having we're supposed to be meeting at I think it's a hookah lounge.
What? Go on.
I was like,
I haven't
oh,
I
okay.
haven't hooked I haven't hooked in a minute.
I don't hookah. I
You
just
don't
like I
hookah?
just like
Oh,
I
apple
I don't know.
tobacco? Come on, that is delicious. I remember back in so I used to smoke quite a bit, and I had a roommate who was a tobacconist, and she had a hookah, and we would smoke like apple tobacco, and it's like candy, but it's delicious. You just sit around and you smoke, and it's just I don't know.
Well,
Smoking was
maybe
a
I'll try
pastime of
it.
mine.
Maybe I'll
Yeah,
try it.
it's
To me,
it's not like cigarettes and stuff, like it's so it's a hookah, and I don't know how familiar with it, but it's like a cool sort of like inhale. It doesn't it's lighter on the lungs like as it happens. It's just a couple puffs. It's just nice. It's just like woo.
but
It's
I'll try it
kind
because
of
I
fun.
was like, it looked like too much like smoking a cigarette to me.
It is. I mean, it is a little bit, but the thing is like it's like an enjoyable thing, like and it's you can sit around and you can do that shit all day, but you can just give it a taste, and it's like it's a cool. It's kind of like when you breathe in air and like cool air, and it kind of fills your lungs, and then you breathe it out. It's like, oh, that's actually pretty nice, and
Okay,
like
well,
it's been a
I'll
while.
try it. I'll try it.
Yeah,
just
give
because
give it a
you
go.
said
Give
it.
it a go.
I'll
Like
try it. But
like
look, I
but
quit
be
smoking cigarettes like so long ago. I was
yeah.
like, that look like cigarettes to me.
Yeah,
You
and you take a puff or two and just and use it as an enjoyment thing, but be mindful, be
know.
mindful.
Okay.
You
All
know,
right.
like I'm
I'll
not I'm
try.
not telling anybody to do nothing, but
Oh, no, no,
like
no, no, no.
yeah,
I already know that most of them do. I don't know what they do. I'm just getting
yeah.
to know people and just getting out, and then I think I've convinced my daughter to ride with us tonight too. So
Serenity.
anytime. No, no, my other daughter, Antonice.
Okay.
I have an older daughter too, because she's like what, almost 39 now. But yeah, she has a bike too, and she
Yeah.
doesn't ride often because she's always working and traveling back and forth here and there, and she never gets to ride that much. So I got like 3,000 miles or something on my bike.
Oh
She
hell.
be- she don't have hardly anything yet,
Oh
and that's just me riding around, just enjoying
yeah.
it, and she don't get a chance to enjoy it. So tonight I kind of confessed it. The girls are going. They said RSVP by Wednesday. I said I'll forego dancing just to go and da. You coming? Because she won't go dancing.
Ah, okay.
None of my kids would go dancing, even the one that's
Oh
not.
hell.
They would not go. I was like, I would know. I mean, when they showed up for my 57th birthday, they all showed up to go dancing with me. That I was on cloud 29.
I bet.
Okay, so and I have pictures, and that's what one of the pictures of my daughter. Hey, mom, you look like a model. Do your model walk. So she took a video of me walking like I used to do when I used to model. So
Ah,
that was like that is very memorable. That was the last birthday she attended too. So and I got the videos all in her phone, and I was like, oh my Jesus, okay. But anyway, whenever I can get my older daughter out of her house and circulating, I feel like it's a good day because she works. She's working on the balance. You know what I mean?
yeah.
She's working on the balance.
Like
You know.
everybody's where they're at. You
Yeah,
don't.
and I
If
accept her where she's at because she got me. I helped her get in the house last year, so she's enjoying her house, and she has a renter, and and she's just doing her thing.
that's that's good. Love to hear that because if she's doing her thing, then and she's gonna ride with you, then you are part of her thing.
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Yeah.
like I said, every time she gets a chance, she'll say, "Oh, I can go." Oh, this she'll say, "No, mom, I just work 10 to 3 10-hour days. I'm tired." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And
Yeah.
then I'll go over and sit with her for a little while, and we have a little. I mean, it's just my way, bonding. Like me and Sharente bond on this app. That's
Yeah.
part of all that we do together. Besides a multitude of others, but that's one of our things. Me and the other one we ride. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That's
So
nice.
each one of my kids had something that they gravitated toward. My other daughter, who's not here, we used to go to musicals and plays and shows and stuff. Because
Yeah.
that she was the arts. So all of them have a different bend, and wherever they were leaning, I kind of helped that along, supported it or whatever it was. I didn't tell them who they had to be, what they got to be, and all that.
Hmm.
I just watched them and, oh, she's athletic and musical. Hey, the first one I didn't know thing. I just started throwing stuff at her, and then she clinged on to certain things, and then I realized that she was my more impulsive kid and more sensitive, and I had to watch her and pay attention because she was very took very big risk taker. Okay,
Yeah,
but I didn't quote it. I gave her calculated risk.
that's right. That's the
So
way.
yeah,
That's
so
the way
each
you
one,
do it. Calculated risks all the way.
yes. And this is
Every
when,
step
and
of the
she's
way.
the only one that, hey, I want a motorcycle. Everybody else, and I know I wanted a motorcycle. I'm like, okay, when I get a motorcycle, she probably gonna get one too, because we wanted the Ninja first, but then when we
Oh
saw
yeah, yeah.
this, we saw these motorcycles, and we was like, oh
You
hell no,
got the
we
trikes, right? You got the
yeah,
trike.
we got the Rikers, man,
Okay.
and they're much more safer and everything to me because you wide as you got the whole lane, okay, no, you can't
Yeah.
squeeze by nobody and all that kind of stuff. So this
Yeah.
is one of those things that yeah.
Yeah. I
it,
I ride. I got a motorcycle, and there are times where traffic just fuck y'all. Like I'm.
you know what, I understand that, but see, I
But
don't
I'm
have
not.
we don't
I'm not a dick about it. I do it. Like I do it in first gear, and I'm all slow, and I take. Like I try not to split traffic too often and stuff.
well, the people
But
I knew who ride didn't care, and I
yeah,
was like,
no, that's.
I was
I
like,
got a
yeah.
cruiser. It's a little bigger,
Yeah,
but
no, yeah, no, and then for me, it's like since it's not a two wheel when I'm in traffic, I'm not touching the ground. My feet don't have to hit the floor. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
sitting
I gotta.
reclined in a nice comfort
Right.
position.
Yeah. That's.
So it's a
But you're still you're
somebody
still
told me.
out you're still out in the elements. You're still
Yes, you're
out in
still
the
out in the
elements.
elements. You still get rained on. You still,
Yeah,
people still,
that's
sometimes
still.
they may not see you, but that's why we make it
Do you have
lighter.
do you have a cooling system on your bike? Do you have or is it air cooled?
It, air cool, I
Air
think.
cooled. Okay.
I
Yeah, yeah.
think.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like you may have a radiator that cools your bike off a little bit and a fan. So
Yeah, it has that. It does
it,
that.
it does, yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe if it has, then it's coolant. So then you have coolant, but that like my bike, because it's air cooled. If air is
Hmm.
not flowing over it, it can overheat. So that's
Okay.
why sitting in traffic for too long, some
Well,
bikes just you can't do that. You have to move that bike because it'll overheat and then it'll
but
freeze.
see,
But
that's a lesson too, then,
it
because
is, like
yeah, and the
like
thing is, and the thing is, before it'll overheat, it'll turn off. So
oh, that's the
when I'm in a little bit of traffic, I just make sure I stop far enough away from the car ahead of me so I can inch up if the light is taking a long ass time, or if the trap,
hmm
you know what I mean, and
yeah.
not enough. I don't get back long enough, far enough where somebody can get in front of me, you know.
Yeah.
But I kept kind of after riding it for a year, because I've only ridden for a year and a half now.
Okay.
Um, I've come up with things to ensure that it doesn't turn off because I'm sitting in the same spot for so long as that it turns off before it overheats, and then the fan turns on and all that kind of. And you can hear it shift. You can hear it shifting to the fan when you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes. So, but
So I mean, we're running out of time. Give me some numbers. What's up?
pick me a number. You said you want me to get you ready
I
for your weekend.
I picked
Give me.
yeah I picked the number for Marcy today. Worked out real nice. Let's see what we got. Like the number that came to mind was 13.
Okay.
Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. What does it mean that success is as dangerous as failure? Whether you go up the ladder or down it, your position is shaky. When you stand with your 2 feet on the ground, you will always keep your balance. What does it mean that hope is as hollow as fear? Hope and fear are both phantoms. They arise from thinking of the self. When we don't see the self as self, what do we have to fear? See the world as yourself. Have faith in the way things are. Love the world as yourself. Then you can care for all things.
Amen. Stay balanced.
So I love about this one, and I'm glad that we're kind of pushed on time a little bit. I mean, we could come
Mhm.
back up, but I like what I like about this is like the beginning is like it just presents these two things. Success is as dangerous as failure, hope is as hollow as fear. And then you get these two large sections that kind of break those apart. And then it wraps up in these last four lines. See the world as yourself.
Yes.
Everything that you see out in the world is you. It is a part of you. It is you.
Hmm.
And you don't know the first thing about yourself, right? You don't know anything about yourself. You think you do, but all of that is just coddled up, cobbled together ideas of things that you have done, but you don't know yourself. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know the God that was within you. Have faith in the way things are. All of this, no matter what it looks like to you, have faith in it. It's right because you are God. You are connected to everything.
Amen. So that's
Love
a.
love the world as yourself. And then you can care for all things because they're all you.
Hmm. You also have peace. You also have a whole lot of balance.
It's
You
all
don't,
there.
and you don't judge. Okay, as something is good or bad or right or wrong, because you understand the laws of the universe. You understand that everything is one. You understand that it's all one because it all is connected by energy. So yes, and you get to a place where, hey, that wasn't a bad divorce. It was just a divorce. Hey, that
That's
was
right.
that wasn't an ugly car. It was just a car that won't even say it wasn't taken care of. It's a car that's going through what it has to go through because everybody has a path. Everything has a path that it goes through. A cycle of life. Whether it's a car, a dog, a dresser, a person, there's a cycle to it. And it's all interconnected because it can't be. We're made of the same thing space dust is. So
Right.
that should tell us something. And we got a universe within us. You know,
Mm.
so,
Well,
you
that
know.
and the fact that we can, the universe that you see
Hmm.
exists in your mind because
Yeah.
it is coming in through your eyes and it is projected and then translated by your brain into a visual thing.
Hmm.
It is all happening inside of your brain.
Yeah.
Even when you feel something, that feeling is happening inside of your brain. And your brain is closed off to the entire universe inside of your skull. There is
Yes.
no way your brain has experienced any of this. How do you know this is here? Because you feel it? Well, your feeling is happening in your brain. Your seeing is happening in your brain. Your smelling in your brain. Your speaking in your brain. Your hearing in your brain. It's all there. It's all. And yes, when you say you have a universe inside of you, look, all of that is being created inside of you.
Yeah. That's true. So yes. So I thank you, Martin John, and you have a wonderful weekend. Is Andy coming this weekend? Are you going this weekend?
We are figuring that out. We we
Okay.
we are figuring all that out as we speak. We're looking at where we're going to invest, and we're going to say, and we're going to see each other soon.
Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful time deciding wherever,
Yeah,
whatever, and however. Okay.
that's
And
right. We just let the
continue.
universe take us.
Yes, continue to let the love flow, man. Just let the
Yeah.
love.
Let the
I
love
guess
flow
I'm a hippie. I
like
guess
a
I must be a
mountain
damn
stream.
hippie.
You let the love flow.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I must be a hippie. I'm like, what? I'm a throwback. Okay.
That is hot. No, go on.
Uh,
I think that's Dolly Parton, man.
okay. So
I don't know.
yes.
I got to look it up, but
All
I
right.
got to hear that now. All right,
Okay.
love. You have a
Bye.
good weekend.
Okay.
Be
Bye.
safe
Bye.
on that bike, girl.
All right.
Yeah. Let the love flow like a mountain stream. You let the love flow. I don't know. The strongest of dreams. If I looked up the words, I'll sing it for you guys. Seriously. All right. Thank you so much for everybody coming on to Tao of the Day. Marcy, Kelly, Dr. Rao, and Lois. Love you guys so much. Thanks for all the love. And once again, I am Martin John. I do all my stuff as revolves around Recover Yourself. If you go to my website, I have a new book of quotes of mine that'll help you on the path to recovering yourself. I also have a workshop, my workshop, which I'm not doing in person anymore. But what I have is a workshop that you can purchase through my website. So please consider that. I also work with a limited number of clients one-on-one every month. So if you're interested in doing some work around recovering yourself and understanding more about what the Tao has to offer and how we all kind of connect and how you can control a little bit more of your life and not be in control or just kind of like feel like like you're reaching your full potential. That's what I do. Thank you so much for joining me for Tao of the Day. I'm here weekday mornings in Central Time. Anytime you need to pick a number, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for all that you do for me here on Wisdom. Love you guys. And if you benefit from the work I do, consider giving me a tip through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia. Until next time, keep recovering yourself.